viewpoints, statements, or beliefs expressed on the following program by the host, guests, or callers are not necessarily the opinions of FantasyAccess.com, Media Group Inc. ownership, management, sponsors, or website.
Talk a little NFL with our guy Matt Verderame. Matt, how you doing, baby? You finally ready to watch some football instead of just talk shit all off season?
I can't wait. We'll have new material every week. We won't have to talk about some fourth stringer maybe making the team. No offense to that guy. I am headed to Kansas City right after this. I'll be at the game tomorrow night between the Lions and the Chiefs, covering it at Arrowhead. So I am looking forward to it. It's all finally here.
And the good thing is you're driving and you won't be in a crap-filled plane. I mean, think about that. I mean, you know, you're worried about 5 hours in Iowa.
Yeah.
Think about this. A couple of hours in a shit-filled plane, that's not a lot of fun, buddy.
No, that's not. I saw that. That is pretty much my worst nightmare. Like, people always ask, like, why do you drive? Why don't you fly? I'm like, not because I'm worried about crap-filled planes, but I hate everything about flying that doesn't involve the actual flying. I hate getting to the airport. I hate parking at the airport. I hate sitting at security for an hour because some jerk off won't take off their shoes. And then I hate having to sit at the gate and it gets delayed because the pilot's not there because they got rerouted in Denver and you got to wait 45 minutes, even though it's sunny and 70 degrees outside. I will drive. If it's less than like 14 hours, I'm getting in the car and going. I absolutely, the best part of flying is actually flying. I don't worry about, like, once I'm in the air, that's fine. Give me a Sprite.
Well, it's fine unless there's somebody coming out of the bathroom with explosive diarrhea. I mean,
then it's not good. Then it's not good. But typically speaking, I like once we're in the air, then they come by with those like the little cookies, or you get like that waffle thing. You get some Sprite. It's fine. It's good. I'm good to go. I can.
That plane's bathroom looked like a porta potty at Burning Man. I mean, you know,
not good.
That's not good. You know, no. That's not a good thing. Can you imagine? There must have been women throwing up left and right on top of all of that because he's going down the. I mean, we talk about, you know, guys play that crop dusting game sometimes. You go grab a beer, you pass by the couch, and you crop dust everybody. This guy was like literally crop dusting.
He took it to the next level. His level should be prison time. Like, but that's rough.
Outside of getting hijacked, that's the second worst thing that can happen on a plane, right there.
Yeah, that's about as bad as it gets. That's a tough day. I would hope that all those people got about $5,000 worth of vouchers, but they probably didn't. So
and again, not the plane, not Delta's fault. You know what I mean? Like, I feel bad for everybody involved, man. What did that person eat, bro?
Too much. Too much. Okay. Way too much.
I'm wondering if somebody played a joke on him and gave him an X-Lax before he got on the plane or something.
You know, I probably shouldn't admit this on air, but I remember in college, I had like 5 roommates because our building was set up that like we had like 6 roommates. And it was like 3 little like bedrooms and a common room, whatever. So we were all friends, and one of us we always play pranks on each other. And so one time we found like this like clear liquid. I don't know if it was actually called X-Lax or whatever, but like did the same thing essentially. And we like poured like a serving size of it or whatever it would be into like one of the guys' beers. And we were out at like midnight and they were hanging out. All of a sudden he just was like, he stood up and was like, I got to go. And he just went home, and we went and we found him like in the bathroom a couple hours later. Like, hey man, by the way, this is what happened. He would have killed us if he could have gotten up off the toilet. But you know, when you're 21, whatever we were, it was fun. It was a good time.
That's how it goes.
No plane involved though, so that was good.
How many times have I been Andy Reid, like painting people's faces too while they're sleeping? I mean,
right. These things happen.
So, by the way, you're on your way to Kansas City. Are you there to go massage Kelsey's knee? Are you there to talk to Chris Jones to take the field? Because Kansas City's missing 2 out of their 3 best football players tomorrow night, by the way. You know,
They are. It's a bizarre thing. I mean, first of all, as you know, like normally the last day of practice in a week, like you kind of just doing a walkthrough. I mean, there's really not much going on. So for you to hyperextend your knee during that is pretty surprising. Sounds like, and I know they're going to do more imaging today, but, to make sure with the swelling and everything else, but like sounds like his knee's fine. It's just a matter of getting the swelling down. And his brother went on the radio in Philly and said he thinks he's going to be good to go. So we'll see what happens. Frankly, if he's not 100%, I don't think they should play him. I agree. If he's not 100%, they should protect him against himself. And just be like, look, man, we're good.
It's game one. You're the Chiefs, bro. Yeah, give me a break. You'll get them back and you'll win your games, bro. Why have him go out and play on an unstable ligament that then he could tear?
Yeah, like I'm with you. Like unless there's I'm not a doctor, so I'm not going to pretend to be. But like unless they're just like, look, you're fine structurally, and it's just about managing a little bit of pain, and he wants to do it fine. But like, if there's any like a 1% chance more than normal that you could blow a knee out here, that's crazy. It's a non-conference week 1 football game. Like they can lose this game 100-0, and it probably won't matter come January. And then as far as Chris Jones, like, I'm going to be honest, as I always try to be anyway, but I don't get sitting out regular season games from the following standpoint. I get the emotional part of it, like you're trying to make a statement and all that. You're giving up over $1 million a game, and you're doing two things. You are, A, just losing money out of your bank account. B, you're lowering the cost of your services this year and next year on a franchise tag. You're taking away any reason for the Chiefs to move up their offer. I've never understood why he didn't hold it in and just say, yeah, my leg hurts, and you got to pay me, and I'm not getting fined, and my cap number, if I get tagged next year, is not going down. But instead, he's not showing up. Like, I got it when they were in St. Joe and he didn't want to be there. Okay, fine. Whatever, that happens. But like,
dude,
now,
hasn't he lost already $2 million?
$2 million, yes. So now, and it's like the difference from multiple reports, and I reported some of the team side of this stuff. Like, they're like $9 million apart over the course of 3 years. Like, if you sit out another 6 weeks, you're forfeiting more than that gap. Like, you're losing money even if you got the bigger deal. It just, I don't get that. I understand sitting out in the summer, but I don't understand why I didn't just hold it in and force them to. I feel like that would have given him way more leverage. But now he's just sitting there, and like they don't care if they give up 30 points a game if they win. They don't care. Like, they know he's going to come back. It's bizarre. I don't understand the tactic at this point.
Yeah, no, and did you not learn from Le'Veon Bell? Like what was the name of the big tackle in Seattle? He played at Florida State. Absolute stud, bro. I forgot his name.
Jones? Or are we talking about?
Yeah, Jones. Yeah. They tagged his ass, I believe the max, the 3 straight times in Seattle. Walter Jones. That's right. Yeah. He played through it. You know what I mean?
I just look at it like
no sense whatsoever. And by the way, he's getting paid a nice. It's not like you're getting ripped off here, dude. It's not like you're playing your last year of your rookie contract and you outperformed the shit out of it. And they should be paying you 8 times what they're paying. No,
like Bosa in San Francisco.
I believe it's like 25 million or something he's getting this year, isn't he?
His base salary is 19.5. His cap hits like 28.6. So he's getting paid plenty of money. Here's the other problem with this. You're essentially now betting against Mahomes. You're betting that he's going to lose games without you. And I got to tell you, I've watched every snap of that guy's career about 4 times over. I wouldn't make that bet. Like even this game with Detroit, let's say Kelsey's out. Look, they're missing 2 of their best 3 players. And you're not going to get any argument from me on that. I mean, Kelsey's a generational, like literally maybe the best tight end to ever play. And Jones is a Hall of Fame player. They're still favored by 4.5 to 5 points to beat Detroit. Like I remember, so it was 2021. It was the COVID year. And Kelsey had to miss the game. And Tyreek Hill played. He was coming off, I believe he was coming off of COVID, but he played like 2 snaps in the game. Like he basically couldn't play. They played Pittsburgh with a top 5 defense. They scored 36 points. Their leading receivers in that game were Byron Pringle and Derek Gore. Like, it just didn't matter. So, on
They
one
were
hand,
better last year without Tyreek, bro.
and that's the other
They
part
were
of this.
better
Like,
last year. They had more yards and more points without
right.
Tyreek last year.
Like,
What the
even
hell?
without Kelsey, look, I'm not like, if they were missing Kelsey for the year, that's like a death sentence. Okay, I'm not. But like for one game, just spread out Detroit and throw to MVS and throw to your backs and run the ball and throw to Kadarius Toney for a game and throw, like, if I'm the Chiefs, like, look, it's not ideal, but even if you told me right now, Kelsey and Jones, I mean, Jones is not playing, Kelsey may not, I'd still pick them to win the game. I'd be like, Mahomes will probably just throw for like 330 yards and 4 touchdowns, and they'll do what they do. They'll find some way to win. But even if they don't, all right, fine. It's 0-1. Like, it's not
Right.
that big of a deal.
Yeah, it's not the end of the world. I personally would hold out Kelsey if I'm them. I just think it's so important that why even push it right now? And the Chris Jones thing to me makes no sense whatsoever, dude. Just come back, play, get your money, and then eventually you'll solve all this issue. But man, like this, I don't know how you make progress this way. And all it does is create more animosity for yourself because you're the one that's losing money. And by the way, if you continue this holdout, then you're going to end up owing the Chiefs, right? Because of the signing bonus.
I mean,
this year that's tied to whatever it is. Now you're on the hook for that money, I think, because you're not living up to your part of the agreement by playing. I think that's how it goes, actually.
So here's where again, he's to the point now where if he misses games, he's barring some miracle, he's missing week 1. He's giving up just over $1 million a game. Like, he's already said on Twitter he'd be willing to sit out till week 8. Okay, if you do that, you're basically surrendering another $8 million. You'd be up over $10 million. The gap between the Chiefs and Jones is less than that. It makes no financial sense. I'll be blunt. I think what's happened here is the Chiefs have made a good offer. They haven't made an over the moon, you've got to sign at the second offer, which is essentially $27.25 million over each of the next 2 years, keeping his 19.5 now. It equates to 3 years, $74.5 million fully guaranteed. Okay, that is more in a 3-year cash flow than anybody at D tackles ever had by a wide margin, except for Aaron Donald.
Right.
If they want to, if the Katz brothers who represent Chris Jones want to sit there and wait for the Chiefs to rip up his current contract, I got to tell you, they're going to be waiting a long time. The Chiefs don't do that. They didn't rip up Patrick Mahomes' contract. They made him play the final 2 years of his rookie deal. Like, they're not going to do that. And so, because almost nobody does that. The Rams did it for Aaron Donald because he was going to retire.
Yeah, I was about to tell you that's rare that nobody does that.
Nobody does that. So the Chiefs should. Plus, if the Chiefs do that, by the way, they set a precedent for every other great player they have going forward. They're not going to do this. So that's part of this. The other part of it is, if you're Chris Jones, you're not on your rookie deal. You're 29 years old. Like, you're not going to make this money back. This is your last big deal, barring you having one of the all-time careers, 33 and beyond. So I just think the market was maybe overshot a little bit by his representation. It was thought to be going higher with all these guys who were going to sign this offseason. And those guys just incrementally went up. And now you're sitting there and, like, you've got to kind of figure it out. Look, I think you maybe bridge the gap with an incentive or two. But you're not going to bridge $9 million. You might bridge $2 million, $3 million. You're not bridging $9 million. I think at some point it's just going to have to come down. I don't think Kansas City really has much of a reason to move.
All right. Dolphins open up at Los Angeles to take on the Chargers. Good thing for the Dolphins is there's a chance that they might have as many Dolphin fans as Charger fans in the building. So it's not necessarily the best home field advantage. Whenever you play the Chargers, expect your franchise to probably have a nice, fan base there. And then this is also a revenge game, a revenge game for Mike McDaniel, because his former coworker got the best of him the last time around in Staley. Tua has to also kind of have a little revenge because he played like shit in that game. They kind of stifled them by, what was it called? Drowning the middle of the field there with guys and defending that. And that kind of was the blueprint there for a couple of weeks. The Niners also did the same thing. So there's a lot on the table for Miami on the revenge side. So how do you look at this matchup between Miami and the Chargers?
I think it's one of the best games of the week.
Yeah. There aren't a lot of them, by the way, this week.
No, it's not a great slate. The later portion of the day is a little better.
Right.
Part of it, too, is it's a good Thursday night game. The Monday night game is going to be unbelievable. The Monday night game, as someone from that part of the country, I can't express to people if the Jets lose that game, what talk radio is going to be like on Tuesday morning. Okay, but back to the Dolphins. Look, I think it's an intriguing game from this standpoint. Like Vic Fangio knows the Chargers. He was there for years in Denver, so he knows, what they're trying to do. Although, of course, now they have a new OC in Kellen Moore. The Chargers are one of those teams that, talent-wise, they stack up with just about anybody. The question with the Chargers is always, can they coach their way out of a paper bag, or does it just turn into a mess? Now, last year they put two in a blender and they still barely won the game. I think that game comes down to the Dolphins up front. If the Dolphins front can handle Mack, who last year started very hot and then tailed off, and Bosa, who is often injured but is healthy right now and is a great player when he's healthy. If they can handle that edge rush, look, I think the Dolphins are going to be able to throw the ball over the yard. The linebackers are not great for the Chargers, and the Chargers corners are good, Jackson and Asante Samuel, but Jackson's coming off of a major knee injury. Tough, is he going to be 100% right away? Probably going to have to ease into it a little bit.
It's still Tyreek and Waddle, bro. I don't care who you are. You're going to struggle.
Right. I mean, they're right. If they block, they're going to get theirs. I think the Dolphins, one thing I think they can absolutely do is run the ball in this game, because the Chargers run defense for years have been atrocious. So
they kept 5 running backs this year instead of 4. McDaniel apologized about not running enough.
Yeah, they got to run the ball.
Apologized to Mostert and said, I didn't give you the ball enough. Right. He realized in several games that I ripped him for last year that he did, he was killing teams in certain games with running, and he did not stay with it. And that's because he was too pass happy. And I think there's going to be an extra dedication to the run. And last year you saw them flood the middle of the field with defenders. Well, how do you bring those guys up? Run the shit out of the ball and make the linebackers come up. And then that's where the middle of the field then becomes, a little bit looser. So I'm expecting a heavy dosage of running. Plus, it keeps Herbert off the field too. So if you could control the ball on the ground, control the clock, I think that's a really, really important thing for Miami this week.
I agree. I think it is too. The other place that I look for that is interesting is when the Chargers hit the football, like those corners from Miami are going to have to hold up to some extent in this game. Now, Xavier Howard's trying to bounce back. Obviously, Ramsey's hurt. That is a big part of this game because Herbert, look, I don't know that he's going to have incredible protection, although with Slater back after missing most of last year, it should be better. But the Dolphins have pass rushers. Like, I think the Dolphins will be able to affect him. The thing has got to be that they've got to be able to cover for a couple seconds here. It can't just be, hey, look, I can throw an 8-yard hitch route whenever I want to. Like, if I'm Miami, I'm not blitzing a ton in this game. I'm dropping 7. I'm playing some zone. I'm trying to do what I can do to double Allen on third down. I know Williams is the more explosive receiver, but Allen is one of the best route runners in football. And on third down, that guy's he's a nightmare. He's a train wreck for defenses. So, look, I think overall it should be a really good game. I think it's probably going to be right within the spread, 3 points either way. If you're Miami, it's the kind of game that if you lose, it's frustrating because it could matter down the road with the Chargers. Maybe it's even a breaker or something. That being said, it's a road game. It's a good team. It's not the end of the world. If you win, you feel great. If you win the game, you're like 1-0, road win. And you're right. Like, there's going to be plenty of Dolphins fans there. That's not going to be a problem. So
Chargers don't have home field advantage. They're the only team out of the 32 that when they go home, they're, doesn't matter who they're playing, that visiting city usually brings a lot of fans. And the last time, by the way, there was as many Dolphin fans as Charger fans in that building. So I would not be surprised. Dolphins travel really, really well, dude.
It would not surprise me at all. And I mean,
I just when I went to Canton last month. Obviously, Cleveland was number one because it was in their freaking backyard. But let me tell you something, bro. The Dolphins blew everybody else away. They had more fans there than the Cowboys and the Jets, which both had those two teams had two people going into the Hall of Fame. And then forget about Tampa and Cincinnati. That was weak sauce, what they brought to the table. But Dolphin fans actually travel, which I don't think people realize. I would not be surprised if you see a lot of alcohol and orange there in that building.
No, I wouldn't either. Though every time the Chargers played home,
I had to wear my Roscoe's chicken hat. Okay,
yeah.
So if you're in Los Angeles, have you had Roscoe's yet? Have you been to Roscoe's?
I have not been there.
Ooh, that's a must for you, my man. Next time you go to Los Angeles, you got to have some chicken and waffles at Roscoe's, bro. Oh, that is absolutely the best. Got to ask you. I can't let you go without asking you, Deion Sanders and what he did this week. I'm a Deion. I was a believer. I wasn't one of those guys that was doubting him. He's been successful at everything he's ever done. So to me, I think the problem with Deion is that certain people have a problem with swag and then production. So when you're loud about it, it turns a lot of people off. And then it turns them off to the point that they really don't go looking through the swag and see that there's substance there. And that's always been Deion. Deion could always talk the talk, but he always walked the walk every single time, no matter what he's doing. So to me, I'm not necessarily surprised about this, but it's kind of fun to see what's going on. And his window to make Colorado a powerhouse just opened up big time.
Yeah. Look, I mean, every time they win a game like that, which was nationally televised, it makes recruiting even easier. I mean, first of all, he's Deion Sanders, right? I mean, he walks into your living room, you're going to pay attention. Second of all, you win games like that, kids want to go play for you. And I got kids would rather play, most of them would rather play for Deion Sanders and Dabo Swinney. They just would. Deion Sanders is in football, he's a cultural icon. He's prime time. Man, that guy is going to walk in a room and immediately command your respect. You can also put his 2 Super Bowl rings down on the table and be like, I'm Deion. If that team can win this year with what he had to go through this offseason, with everything going on, you know what the team's going to look like in a couple of years when he's able to recruit. By the way, his son, not bad, a quarterback, looked
deadly accurate, bro.
Pretty damn good. Yeah.
Deadly accurate. And they left another 150 yards on the field that they dropped passes, dude.
He looks okay. And Travis Hunter is making money by the minute. So, look, they were interesting. I turned that game on, like a lot of people, I think, out of curiosity, because you said, okay, look, TCU obviously lost a ton of guys, but they're still ranked. They're at home. They went to the national title game. There were people who thought Colorado was going to win one game this year. And I'll tell you, before that game even ended, I had a couple buddies over. We were watching about the second quarter. I was like, yeah, this team's going to be pretty good. I don't know if they're going to be 9-10 win good, but this team's going to be – this team's not going 1-10. Okay, I mean, no. they've got some talent.
They'll be in a bowl game. They'll be in a bowl game for
sure.
Sure.
Yes, they will. They will. Sure. I give him a lot of credit, man.
You agree with me on this? Travis Hunter is a fabulous player. Okay? I love what Deion's doing, but I will say this. I think you're playing him too much. You're going to risk injury because he's only a human being. And if you watch the game, a couple of those passes he dropped, I think it has to do with fatigue, because concentration and fatigue. The one that Shedeur dropped in his basket, the deep ball, you cannot drop that ball. And I get it. Towards the end, he saved a touchdown by catching that interception, which was a fabulous interception. But you don't want to play that plus-minus game all the time. And so, personally, for me, I play him at corner all the time. And then what I would do is, because they have other receivers, I'd use the kid maybe on third downs or something like that. But I personally think you're playing him a little too much. You're risking injury and fatigue. He's going to end up dropping passes or interceptions, one of the two.
Yeah, I mean, the other thing is, at some point, like that's week 1. What does this look like in November? Like, can he continue this? And I get it. I know people are like, oh, the Texas Heat. Sure. Don't get me wrong. Wildly impressive. But, like, that kid's your best player. Like, you can't wear that kid down to a nub here. It's like if you pitched a starting pitcher every third day, right? Like, right. You can get away with that in the playoffs. You can, but, like, you don't do that in April. That's my concern with them more than anything else.
Look at Ohtani. It's what we all worried about, that will you be able to stay in one piece? And he's doing the he almost completed the most amazing season a player has ever had. And look, he couldn't complete it because you're asking a human being too much, bro. To pitch and bat for 162 games. Yeah, that's crazy. It's crazy. It's crazy. All right. What do you got going on SI so folks can check you out, my friend?
All right. So all of our predictions just went up for the season. So mine are out there. I literally just tweet them right now because I figured it'd be a good time to tweet them. So that's up. That's out. We have me at the game on Thursday. I'll be writing the Chiefs side of it. Connor Orr will be writing the Lions side of it. We have an ungodly amount of content coming up for the weekend, covering all the games. I'll have my first Sunday column for Sports Illustrated coming out that will cover the entire league. So please go ahead and check that out. It's all there. It's all there and then some. So Sports Illustrated, SI.com, keep it there. And also the newsstand edition, it's out there. NFL preview, got a couple bylines in there. So go out and check out everybody's work.
And follow him on Twitter at Matt Verderame. Check it out there at Sports Illustrated. Matt, as always, safe travels, my friend. Enjoy the football this weekend. Good luck to your Chiefs, man. We will talk next week. Thank you, sir.
Thanks a lot. Take care.
This is the Big O Show. This is the Big O Show.